Fellow citizens, we are met here today in accordance with a custom as old as the government itself to witness the transfer of the presidency from one party to another. And it is my duty to stand before you and address you briefly and to take in your presence the oath prescribed by the Constitution of the United States to be taken by the President before he enters on the execution of this office. I do not consider it necessary at present for me to discuss those matters of administration about which there is no special anxiety or excitement. A great change has been made by the election in the mode of selecting candidates for the presidency, and the country will expect that this change will produce a corresponding change in the mode of conducting the executive government. In this, however, as in other things, the public will be disappointed if I attempt to make too wide or too sudden a change. I have said in the plainest terms what I would do if elected, and I shall be understood by my acts as president. It would be just as much an overstepping of the line of my duty as it would be an overstepping of theirs to avow in advance a purpose to disregard the restriction which the Constitution has placed upon the power of the president, or to assume in advance a purpose to disregard the restriction which the Constitution has placed upon the power of the president. My understanding of the Constitution has undergone no change since the publication of my views last summer, and I must not now and here declare what I shall do when instances will have actually arisen requiring action on my part. This would be the very definition of usurpation, but I am not without hope that the legislation of the South will provide just and peaceful remedies for the supposed grievances which have led the people of the Southern states to seek redress in arms. What I have to say today is little more than a reiteration of what I said in the letter addressed to the convention which nominated me. I therefore take that occasion to refer to what I there said and to what I then believed. There is perhaps nothing which separates the past from the future more widely than this belief that the time has come when we ought to be no longer a nation of debtors. We have been making prodigious progress in debt. Our direct debt is now nearly $300 million. Our indirect debt in the shape of the unfunded and semi-funded accounts amounts to nearly twice that sum. This is a state of things which cannot continue without danger. Every dollar of our debt is paid out of the public treasury and taxes collected from the people. All payments of interest and all payments of principal are made from this source. Suppose the income of the treasury to be $100 and our expenditures $80. Then $20 go to the payment of debt. Suppose our expenditures to increase to $90. Then there is but $10 left to pay all the expenses of the government, leaving not $1 to pay anything in discharge of the debt. What wonder if under such a state of things we incur debts annually, seeing that there is nothing to pay it. Thus it goes on till the whole amount of the debt becomes unpayable, and the burden of it falls heavily and irretrievably on the people. The great and increasing debt of the country does not grow out of any one cause, but out of all the dealings of the government. Money borrowed to carry on the government and to provide for its wants is not expended with care. It is squandered by everybody connected with the government, and nobody connected with the government seems to care how much is expended. At the same time, everybody, and especially the people, complain of taxation. Is it not strange that we are all so blind that we cannot see that the remedy for the evils of taxation is the remedy for the evils of taxation? Is it not strange that we cannot see that this prodigality of expenditure is the true secret of taxation? Unless we change our course, we must inevitably fall into the hands of our creditors, and the whole financial system of the country will fall to pieces. How shall we escape these calamities? Not by abandoning the fundamental rule of political economy that expenditure must not exceed income, nor by guarding against waste and extravagance in every department of the government, nor by fairly and honestly carrying out the well-understood and always successful policy of paying what we owe. By these means alone can we escape from the perilous condition into which our public affairs have been brought. I have in view one other important change in our condition as a nation. At the commencement of our government, we were essentially a country of agriculturists. The exchange between import and export was small. Within a few years, however, the rapid growth of the manufacturing interests in the northern states and the development of mines in the West have given to our exports an immense value. They have greatly increased our foreign exchanges and thus have greatly increased the means of importing such articles as we do not produce. In this way, too, we have given employment to thousands of our fellow citizens who, without this stimulus, would either have been thrown upon the public charities or compelled to seek new homes beyond our borders. Our imports are now nearly 700 millions, and our exports nearly 600 millions. It is a subject of regret that the precious metals constitute so large a part of our imports. Apprehension seems to exist among the people of the southern states that by the accession of a Republican administration, their property and their peace and personal security are to be endangered. There has never been any reasonable cause for such apprehension. Indeed, the most ample evidence to the contrary has all the while existed and been open to their inspection. It is found in nearly all the published speeches of him who now addresses you. I do but quote from one of those speeches when I declare that I have no purpose, directly or indirectly, to interfere with the institution of slavery in the states where it exists. I believe I have no lawful right to do so, and I have no inclination to do so. Those who nominated and elected me did so with full knowledge that I had made this and many similar declarations and had never recanted them. And more than this, they placed in the platform for my acceptance, and as a law to themselves and to me, the clear and emphatic resolution which I now read. Resolved, that the maintenance inviolate of the rights of the states, and especially the right of each state to order and control its own domestic institutions according to its own judgment, exclusively is essential to that balance of power on which the perfection and endurance of our political fabric depend. And we denounce the lawless invasion by armed force of the soil of any state or territory, no matter what pretext, as among the gravest of crimes. I now reiterate these sentiments, and in doing so, I only press upon the public attention the most conclusive evidence of which the case is susceptible, that the property, peace, and security of no section are to be in any wise endangered by the now incoming administration. I add, too, that all the protection which, consistently with the Constitution and the laws, can be given will be cheerfully given to all the states when lawfully demanded, for whatever cause, as cheerfully to one section as to another. There is much controversy about the delivering up of fugitives from service or labor. The clause I now read is as plainly written in the Constitution as any other provision of it. No person held to service or labor in one state, under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall in consequence of any law or regulation therein be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due. It is scarcely questioned that this provision was intended by those who made it for the reclaiming of what we call fugitive slaves, and the intention of the lawgiver is the law. All members of Congress swear their support to the whole Constitution, to this provision as much as to any other. To the proposition that slaves whose cases come within the terms of this clause shall be delivered up. Their oaths are unanimous. Now, if they would make the effort in good temper, could they not with nearly equal unanimity frame and pass a law by means of which to keep good that unanimous oath? There is some difference of opinion whether this clause should be enforced by national or by state authority, but surely that difference is not a very material one. If the slave is to be surrendered, it can be of but little consequence to him or to others by which authority it is done. And should anyone in any case be content that his oath shall go unkept on a merely unsubstantial controversy as to how it shall be kept? In this, and in all else, which relates to the internal peace and quiet of the country, I shall be glad to do all that can be done by the executive authority to aid the public in accomplishing these ends. Beyond this, my authority as Chief Magistrate of the nation cannot go. On the international relations of the country, I have had no part in forming the policy which has hitherto been pursued. I do not find it necessary at present to express my views about that policy. In my present address, suffice it to say that it shall be my earnest endeavor to promote the public welfare by all the means which have been or hereafter may be deemed proper. If I can succeed in this, I shall return to my countrymen at the expiration of my term and lay before them the satisfaction of an unsullied reputation and the consciousness of having done what is right. So shall my administration of the government be complete and my happiness as an American be full. Thank you for watching.